Amanda, thank you for making time to come and see us today. Obviously there was some very big news from your camp, at least this past week, that you've now decided to finally hang up your boots for Banyana.
It's the biggest decision, I think, for any football player. I think it's very scary as well as time get closer to making the announcement. But I think in between, having to let go of something that you've literally known for all your life is really hectic, because you think to yourself, then what? It's developed me. Football has really developed me, taken me to school through varsity. It's just sort of given me a platform to a career after football, actually, or a life after football. But then how do you let go so easily? But it's taken quite a lot out of me, very emotional process, but it's something that needed to be done.
I mean, you've been doing this for over 10 years now, and you're still barely 30 years old, so some might argue that there's probably still plenty of juice left in the legs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I still feel strong, but I think this was the right time, because initially I wanted to stop playing 2015. But a few of my colleagues, Janine van Wyk and Ntombolelo Nyandeni, told me, nah, let's just keep trying for African Women Championship honours. Maybe get a gold, because that's what's missing. That's what's missing from our cabinet, and maybe a World Cup qualifier. But that hasn't happened until now. And I thought to myself, okay, after the Rio Olympic Games, my exclusion from the team for the whole year, it didn't sit very well, even though sometimes you have to respect the coach's wishes or decisions in terms of the criteria of selections for players. But I think ultimately that gave me a bit of fresh air, a bit of room to sort of decide if this was the right time or not. Do I still want to compete and maybe try and qualify for the World Cup this year? But then I thought to myself, it's going to be very tough. I think missing out on a year and having to catch up with your teammates who have been playing at that level, that elite, high intense competition, will be very tough for me. People might argue, but you're Amanda Dlamini, so you know this, but it's not that easy. You really have to work hard to get to that level.
To be able to walk out there for 100th time, I mean, some women are lucky to be able to do it once, to be able to do it 100 times. How does that ring for you?
It was very special, I promise you. It was so special. But I think leading up to that game, there was a bit of uncertainty whether I'll be playing, because during the week you know that you're starting or not, and therefore you have to apply your mind to what you have to do game day. And on that particular game, I was not starting, and I thought to myself, maybe I might not get this 100. But I think at that moment in time, I was just really happy, because one of the places I've always wanted to travel to was America. And there I was in America and Chicago, and getting my 100th cap in America was just extra special, and during my month of birth. So everything was just so aligned and just so special at that point in time. When I was introduced in the second half, it didn't even click to me that this was my 100th cap, because we were so under pressure where the game was concerned. And for me, I just wanted to help my teammates so that we get a good result, but it didn't go our way. And only after the game I realized, when the coach came to me and she hugged me, she says, "Congratulations on your 100th cap." And then everyone started pouring me with water, celebration started. But it was the best feeling ever.
How much do you think the women's game has evolved in the last decade that you've been involved in it?
I think during my time as the captain also, it was one of the things that we wanted to highlight, that we would like more media houses to be present during our media days at training. We'd like to interact and engage with people in the public so that they know who the Banyana players are. I think during our time, a lot of players still related to Portia Modise and Veronica Pero, even though they were still not in the team. But I think that engagement with the public, media houses coming to tell our stories, where we come from, what is happening in our lives. Social media also has played a big role, and I think the incorporation of SASL, linking up with social platforms, with the player education in terms of how to handle media, that has really helped us a lot. And I think we've grown as players, and we can only just hope that with the sponsorship under SASL and SAFA, they can really grow the game and develop the game in terms of proper administrative structures of club league games.
Going back to that transition of hanging up boots and becoming a career woman now, many people watch you on TV, see you do your analysis, and think that, you know, this woman shouldn't even have been playing football, because you look so natural and so good on TV. Was that for you something that started out as maybe something to try and then developed into a career goal, or was that something that you said to yourself a while back that when I do finish this, I want to try to get into broadcasting, because it seems like a very natural fit for you?
No, thank you. I wouldn't even think so. You know, the terms in football where you say players are sometimes thrown in the deep end. I felt like I was thrown in the deep end because Bafana were playing in the CAF, and they asked me to analyze the Bafana games, and there was no training, there was no preparation. It was just, I had to just go with my own gut feeling and just speak my mind. And I think working with staff and I think program directors who understood what needed to be said, and they just made me feel very comfortable, and that really helped a lot. But after that, then the positive feedback, and they said, no, we would like to incorporate you to do this and this and that. And I thought to myself, okay, I can try this, but I'm still very nervous even now.
No, I think it looks fantastic. The fans that maybe won't see you on the TV playing can at least watch you on the TV doing the analysis.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on the whole Desiree Ellis thing? I know South Africa's been up in arms of late around the fact that she still seems to have that interim title tagged to her name, and other people have been crying out saying, what more does this woman need to do to convince SAFA that she is the long-term solution for Banyana? I mean, do you have an opinion on the matter?
Well, I think if it is that maybe SAFA Association were direct and honest to people and what it is that they want to achieve with the national team, I think a lot of people would get a better insight or perspective as to what is the direction and what is the goal or the outcome for the team. And I think at the moment it's almost as if everything is just at limbo and they're just going with the flow, and yet we have such an important year ahead of us where we have to at least win the AWC, but also get an automatic qualification for the World Cup. And you still have an unannounced coach who's not sure what it is that she needs to do. And I think with that direction, if it is that they give her a nod, then so be it, because then they're also saying we want to groom our own, develop our own coaches. But if it is that we don't throw them in the deep end to see if it is how far they can go so that they get the necessary help to get to that level. I think that's just the communication that needs to be communicated to everyone, because I think from where I am, a lot of people do not have the inside info as to, they just think, no, the coach deserves to be there. But the criteria and what needs to be done, I don't think a lot of people are clear on that.
You mentioned a busy year. Of course, there's a World Cup coming around. There's AFCON qualifiers as well. They have Sweden now in the next few days before they can, well, at least use that as preparation for those games. Now, what are you expecting from Sweden?
Sweden are always on top of their game, considering that our football calendar is not the same as theirs. They compete in the European leagues, and European leagues always get a week off, if you can call it a break of the season. And we always have 2 months in between, or 3 months even to some extent, and therefore that means they have the upper hand. But we always thrive under pressure, and we always sort of get the best out of the team when we're under pressure, when everyone is expecting us to sort of fail. That's where the team actually performs. But it's going to be a bit tough on the team where fitness is concerned, because our season ended October, maybe, or November, and that's a long layoff of inactivity, and you're expected to perform at that international level. That's going to be a tough ask for the team. But like I said, I have no doubt in my mind that they will perform their best.
Would you ever consider going back into the game from an administration point of view, a coaching point of view?
I'd love to go back, yes, but as to coaching, I don't think so. It's just too much for me. I really want to work where development is the main focus, or the prime focus for the national teams, especially the women national teams, because I feel there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. The girls need good role models to understand the career paths also, because they're still young, they go to school, and what it is that lies ahead of them. So that's where I really want to go in and maybe share my in-depth knowledge of the game as well.
Plenty of it. Thank you so much for coming out, Amanda. We appreciate it. Enjoy all the TV work coming up, and hopefully you won't be too far away from us on TV.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Awesome.